Breaking Down the Law is sponsored by Battleborn Injury Lawyers.
Well, the redistricting, there we go, fight in Texas continues as Governor Greg Abbott asked the state Supreme Court for permission to remove the House Democrat chair from office. The lawsuit claims state representatives Gene Wu violated the state constitution and his absence amounts to the abandonment of office. This is what Republican Governor Abbott is claiming. Texas Republicans are trying to redraw congressional districts mid-decade to pick up 5 more House seats. It sparked a national political battle with major implications for next year's midterm elections. Governor Greg Abbott called a special session to redraw the maps, but more than 50 Texas House Democrats left the state to deny Republicans the quorum needed to pass the new districts. The standoff triggered threats of retaliation from Democratic governors in other states, potentially setting off a national redistricting arms race. What's driving the mid-decade redistricting push, and what are the broader implications moving forward? Here to break it all down is attorney Matthew Hoffman with Battleborn Injury Lawyers. Matt, we were just talking about this off camera. This is a lot of hoopla that some people may not be aware of. This has happened before.
Yeah, and anytime, first and foremost, everyone's kind of, in the media, it's being portrayed as that this has never happened before, that this is unprecedented, that, we've never seen mid-decade redistricting. Well, yeah, we have. We saw this in Texas in 2003, and in 2006, the Supreme Court came in and said, yeah, you can do that. There's nothing in the Constitution that forbids you from redistricting after, after they go through and do the census. And with the recent census, it's obviously bad news for Democrat-leaning states. California lost a lot of population; they're losing seats. Texas is gaining seats. Florida is gaining seats. Now, with Texas this time, there were 4 districts that the Department of Justice identified and said, "Hey, these districts are improperly drawn. You need to redraw them." So Governor Abbott calls a special session under the auspices of, "Hey, we need to redraw these districts." While we're at it, let's redraw all of them. Let's redo the map because the recent census showed us we need more districts because we have more people and we need to more fairly represent it. That sets off this firestorm. The Democrats in Texas come in and say, we know what you're doing. You're trying to pick up 5 national seats. When you do this, they flee the state, literally flee the state, 50 of them, because you have to have 2/3 of the members there to have a quorum. And by 50 of them leaving, they don't have a quorum.
Now, Governor Abbott threatened to get the FBI involved or use some of his officers to, I guess, bring those folks back. Is that even legal?
Well, here's what I would say about Governor Abbott. Never underestimate him, and I mean it this way. This is somebody who was the former Attorney General of the state of Texas and a former Texas Supreme Court Justice. So he knows the law, and he knows the law of Texas. If anybody's going to find a legal way to do something, it's going to be Governor Abbott. Pretty brilliant man. Could the FBI get involved? Yeah, I guess they could, because what it's doing is interfering with a national interest, which is congressional seats. Currently, everybody that's out of state are being fined $500 a day. And to put it in context, they make $600 a month for doing this. So, but there are groups, like a George Soros-backed group that's paying for all these fines. It's a standoff. I don't know how it ends, because at the end of the day, they got to come back at some point.
Right.
And Governor Abbott can keep calling special sessions as many times as he deems necessary. And so in 2003, when this happened, or when they've tried this before under the voting rights bill in 2023, ultimately enough came back, and the bill passed.
Do you think other states will look at this and take the same approach?
And that's the bigger concern. That's a big concern, because nationally we've gotten away from these super partisan battles over congressional lines for this very reason. And there's been more commission-based, independent commissions doing it. What Governor Newsom is saying, we're going to pass a bill emergently and get rid of our commission to redraw our maps. Governor Hochul's basically saying the same thing. And then Missouri's coming in and saying, oh yeah, well, we'll redo ours and add more Republicans. I don't know where it goes, but I have a feeling that if Texas is successful here, you're going to see other states try to reciprocate to balance it, and then all the gloves are off and every state's doing this. And that's probably where it's going, and it can. That's what people need to understand. It can go this way, and the states ultimately have the autonomy to draw their maps.
I guess that we will have to just wait and see. Matthew Hoffman, thank you so much for joining us here on on at noon. If you have any questions, legal questions you want answered by Matthew Hoffman, email us at breakingdownthelaw@news3lv.com.